Up to 1 in 7 workers here in Essex are self-employed. You might be one of them. And anyone who's worked for themselves knows you get good months and you get leaner months. Well, there are now calls for lenders to bring in flexible mortgage repayments to help if you are self-employed and you are in that predicament. The Financial Conduct Authority is proposing a range of changes, including reducing some of those barriers around flexible repayments for people who have a variable income. What do you think about that, especially if you are self-employed? Sally Mitchell is a mortgage broker at Verst Financial and is based in Essex. Sally, thank you for coming on. Morning to you.
Morning to you.
Morning. So this is potentially a bit of a game changer, is it?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I welcome any innovation that the powers that be can, bring to the market. And although this is just a consultation at the moment, so we don't know, exactly what they're likely to propose, it's certainly a sector of the market that needs looking at. Self-employed people, as you say, have good months, bad months. They have fallow years, they have great years. And at the moment, self-employed people are judged on their last 2 years' tax records, income records. So the difference between 1 year and the next, if you take that as an average, can actually bring their affordability, what they can borrow, way down through no fault of their own. And actually, it's not a good picture, a correct picture of where they really are at.
Yeah, and as you say, this is something that's being consulted on at the moment. Could you see it going ahead in some shape or form? Do you think it will happen?
I hope it does. I really do. I mean, there's other things that need to be looked at as well. The older customer, people who are paid in foreign income as well. But for self-employed, yeah, they do seem to be a bit tied by their last 2 years of record keeping, and that can really alter things. It would be nice to have more projection going forward, where they're going. I think that's much more important, really, than looking backwards, because a lot of these entrepreneurs, they've got plans. They've got a 5-year plan. What they're doing now is going to be very different to what they're going to be achieving potentially in 1 or 2 years. So I think that needs to be looked at as well.
Is there a downside, though? Maybe people take on slightly bigger mortgages than they could afford with this sort of flexibility factored in. Could that lead to other sorts of issues potentially?
Yeah, it's something we're always guarding against. Now, the FCA are incredibly careful. They will not allow anything to go through, any changes to be made that take those safeguards away. So it's responsible lending all the way. We do not want to go back to the Wild West days of the mortgage market. Yeah. But it is something that needs to be checked. Go to a broker, get your affordability and your projections really looked into, your budgeting, your future family plans. All those sorts of things can affect what you can afford in the future. And yeah, be cautious. If you're being offered a massive percentage loan to value, really, really consider it. Do you need to take it? Just try and be sensible.
We've got Sally Mitchell with us on BBC Essex, who is a mortgage broker at Verst Financial, based here in the county, talking about potential changes afoot if you're self-employed and trying to get a mortgage. So let's finish on that point then, Sally. What advice would you have as it stands now if you are self-employed and you want to get on the property ladder, you're trying to get a mortgage? What can you do?
Yeah, you've got to really think about your last 2 years. That is what of trading. That is what a lender is going to be looking at. So try, if you can, not to swap between potentially being a sole trader and a limited company, because then you go and start again. Your 2 years starts again from when you change status. Some people don't realise that. And 2 years can feel like a very long time to try and get your records together. Try and keep good records. Don't go mad. Don't take on lots of different hire purchase agreements, loans, etc., because that always affects your affordability. And have some faith. Look around. Don't just go to your local high street provider or your bank. Go to a broker, because there are so many good lenders out there who specialise in not just self-employed, but also perhaps potentially if you've got a little bit of adverse credit over the years. There are lenders out there. Don't be defeated. Speak to an expert.
Sally, always good to talk to you. Thanks for joining us on The Breakfast Show this morning. 7:25.
Sonia Watson at breakfast.